involved with politics knows, and Governor, as you know, you can't move forward in a campaign without having a great partner through this process, whether it's going through a campaign or whether it's actually getting into the government business. You know, the governor is absolutely right. We need to reinvent Michigan. We need to reinvent Washington, D.C. We've had a great start here in the state, but for prosperity and opportunity to come back to the state of Michigan, we need to recognize that there needs to be a partnership with Washington, D.C. A partnership in terms of philosophy. And the governor has laid out the principles that I have fought for and will continue to fight for. Fiscal discipline. You know, I was part of the budget committee in the 1990s with Governor, now a colleague of Governor Snyder, John Kasich, where we outlined a path to fiscal responsibility. You know, we restrained spending, we reformed government, and we cut taxes. And the end result is, by the tough decisions, and they were hard. Some of you may remember that back during that period, government actually shut down for a period of days. But we sent the clear message that said we are going to be serious about fiscal reform and fiscal discipline, and we ended up balancing the budget for 4 years. We went through a process of reforming government. We reformed welfare. We got to do the same thing in Washington again today. We do have to reform entitlements. They're a legacy cost on this generation and future generations, but they're also a legacy cost in terms of the impact that they will have on economic growth and opportunity. We need to reform the relationship between Washington and the states. You know, I spent a lot of time working on education. I believe that education decisions are best made by parents, local school districts, and by the state. I fought hard against my presidents, all of our presidents, but one that I helped elect, George Bush's No Child Left Behind, because I thought it was a massive expansion of the federal government's role in K-12 education. It's exactly the wrong thing to do. I not only fought the president, I fought educational interest and all of those types of things. But 10 years later, we found out that voting no on that bill was the right thing to do. Go talk to your local superintendents. Actually, go talk to the Michigan Education Association. And what they will tell you is that they want control of education back in the state. They want this governor setting the direction for education in this state. They want control at the local level and the parental level. Why? Because once again, Washington promised what? They said, we're going to give you a bucket of money. And what everybody thought about and focused on was the bucket of money, and they forgot about the rules and the regulations. What they found is that they got a bucket of rules and regulations, and they got a small little pail of money, not nearly enough to pay for the loss of control that states have. And you can do that with education. You can reform education. You can do that with Medicaid, the program that the governor and I have talked about. Why does Michigan believe that getting 93 cents back on the dollar is a good deal for our gas tax? A good deal and a fair deal is that the money never leaves the state. The money will stay here. Same thing with a lot of things with regulatory reform. You know, I very much appreciate the leadership that the governor has provided at the state. I very much appreciate the endorsement that he has given to me, but I think more importantly to the ideas that I bring to this campaign and the energy and the philosophy that I'll bring to Washington, D.C., because he and I believe that with those kinds of principles and those kinds of policies in place in Washington, D.C., we can achieve what both of us and all of us in this room want to achieve. We want to bring prosperity, we want to bring opportunity, and we want to bring accountability, prosperity and opportunity back to the people of Michigan, and accountability back to government. That's why we're here. The governor ran for governor. He ran a really good race. He ran a really good race. But as he said, we were able to go through isn't it great that two people can go through a campaign, they can go through a primary, and at the end of that result, at the end of that process, they actually like each other, they actually have respect for each other, because they went through it in a way that the people of Michigan respected the process and how we treated us. It's the kind of thing that the voters should expect out of each and every campaign. It is how we will run the Senate campaign, it is how we will run the primary, and it's how we will run the contrast, my philosophy against the results of our current Senator Debbie Stabenow. There are two very, very different visions for America, different visions for Washington, and we will bring out that stark contrast, and we will do it in a way that will be dignified and will show our respect for the voters of Michigan. Thanks to all of you for being here. It's 14 months. We're going to work hard. We're going to need all of your help, but I really do believe that we can be successful and we can start reinventing Washington at the same time as reinvention in Michigan continues. Thank you very much.